Okay, for this project, I'm going to be giving first-year Islanders tips to help them with their first year of college.
Hey, I'm sorry, my bad.
It's alright.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, have your critical thinking skills improved and have you used them?
So, actually, I do think my critical thinking skills have developed. So, as you can see right here, from my first exam, it was an 89, and my second one was a 92. Alright? And most of the exam is essay. You have 3 short response, and you have to basically write an entire paragraph and define a word. And then the second part of the exam is an entire essay. And I think, especially from my first semester to right now, that I have definitely improved, because last semester I didn't even get a B on a test. I got a C. All of them were C's, and now this semester I have a B and an A. 3 tips for first year Islanders. Tip number 1 is gonna be, don't slack off. Actually do your work when it gets assigned to you. If something's not due for a while, don't say like, oh, I have plenty of time to do it. I'll start on it maybe tomorrow or in 2 days or at the end of the week or something. Do it as soon as you can, because you're gonna end up not doing it till like the day before it's due. So tip number 2, always study at least a week in advance. Don't wait till the day before or the night before or the morning of. It's not high school. You're gonna have to study, and you don't want to cram for all your exams. Lastly, tip number 3, form study groups, because then you'll get way more stuff done than just studying by yourself. You're not gonna need to look up all this other stuff. It's instead of taking you X amount of hours to find information in your textbook to study, or looking through all your notes, trying to remember all this stuff, you're gonna cut that time in half with study groups.
Hey guys, my name is Mikayla and my major is media.
In what way did you contribute to the Islander community this semester?
So this semester, I'm on the track team at TAMUCC, and we participate in track meets here at TAMUCC and around Texas, so that is contributing. And we also help out at track meets that are supported by the school and the team as well. And I also volunteered at the aquarium, which was actually a lot of fun.
How does this demonstrate your social and personal responsibility to the larger community?
I think that it shows a good image for the school, and just the overall responsibility part. I think being a student athlete is a huge responsibility, considering that we have practice and you got to be there at a certain time and all this stuff. And I have some pictures here of me volunteering at the aquarium, and then just the track meet here and working at the track meet as well.
How have you interacted with your trial professors, especially your seminar professor this semester?
We communicate through email, and I ask a lot of questions in class when I do not understand what is going on.
How have you interacted with your classmates during seminar and in the triad this semester?
I think that we didn't interact until we got the group work, and once we got group assignments, we all started communicating about other assignments in history, communications, and seminar. And here's my evidence. I have some emails that me and my professor have been doing, and then we have a group text, and I have the messages right here.
What are your 3 tips for future Islanders?
1, communicate with your professors. Go to their office hours, or use email, or even ask questions in class. Tip 2, always communicate with your future roommates. You don't want to end up with the same thing. Tip 3, don't procrastinate. When you have time, get what you can get done. If you have a TV addiction like me, I understand. Work on something while you're watching TV.
Hi guys, I'm Sol Riasco and I'm from Houston, Texas, and my major is nursing. So this semester I basically learned how to manage my time accordingly, and like with that being said, I would just set out a schedule for myself every day, just basically like a to-do list. I had an agenda, so that was like very like helpful, and like notes on my phone and reminders. And yeah, I just set goals for myself as an individual, like where I wanted to see myself growing as a student and as a person. By me managing my time better, I was able to be more productive in like the semesters of learning communities. So yeah, that was pretty like a good thing. I discovered that when you study in advance, you're like most likely gonna do better than rather than cramming like the day before or hours before a certain exam or quiz. An example of that was the first history exam that we took this semester. I started studying like a week and a half early, making flashcards and whatnot, and Quizlets and studying, and I did pretty good. I made an 83 on our first history exam. That was pretty good. With the help of my with the help of my history class this semester, I discovered that history also does repeat itself. Another good example of that would be like the whole O.J. Simpson trial. Like, if you think about it, they're like having problems with like African Americans and police brutality back then during that time around like the early 90s, and it's happening all over again. So now we're just waiting for another big trial to happen, if that ever does happen. And this semester I learned a lot about myself as an individual, like growing as a person, what makes me upset, what makes me happy. I realized that I'm really like to be ducked off to myself more. I'm not really as social. And yeah, just discovering who I am as a person. If I can give any advice to the first year Islanders coming into the next school year, it would be don't get 8 a.m.s, always study, and just have fun. Just have fun. It might sound cliche, but YOLO, literally. All right, Claude.
Is Katelyn Mikayla. I'm from England, Texas, and my major is agricultural science. I got the question of how did the learning community help this semester, and I feel that it helped in many different ways. It helped when it came time for our tests to learn new ways to study. It helped us get ahead on our study techniques. I feel that it's a very good program in class for new students coming out of high school to participate in and be a part of. Overall, I feel that it gave me a lot of different ideas and ways to look into studying and study techniques, and it helps a lot when classes are getting overwhelmed or when the times for test is stressful. Well, this concludes our video. Thank you and enjoy.